Add, do not subtract. Displace, do not replace. It's all in your head. Hi. You opted to watch this video because you probably are a veteran of several diets. I can't say I blame you because you are not alone. In fact, millions of Americans try one diet after another only to end up in the same place. Actually, too many of us go on diet after diet and we get heavier and heavier each time we try. It's bad enough that a lot of these diets are unable to keep the weight off, but once you get off the diet, you gain more pounds. It's a very frustrating situation, and a lot of people have basically thought that outside of surgery, losing weight on a sustainable basis is pretty much a pipe dream. You're in luck. It turns out, according to fairly recently searched, that fat has actually gotten a bad rap. Based on these recent analyses, the real culprit for America's exploding waistline is none other than sugar. You heard that right. The old idea of eating a lot of fruits, starchy food and starchy vegetables is actually making you sick. It leads to inflammation, it increases the chances of developing certain types of cancer, and it inflames the system so much that it can put people at risk of cardiovascular diseases. By loading up on eggs, avocados, and other high-fat, low-carb foods, you can live healthier while losing weight on a sustainable basis. The key is achieving ketosis. Don't get scared of the term. Your body can take only two forms of energy. Either it uses up the sugar in your bloodstream or it takes in fat in the form of chemical compounds produced by your liver called ketones. When people achieve ketosis, they not only lose weight, but they get a nice burst of energy, they think more clearly, their skin improves, and a whole long list of tremendous health benefits. If you are looking for a great way to adopt the keto diet and recalibrate your metabolism for sustainable weight loss, you are watching the right video. In this video, I'm going to step you through the basics of a keto diet so as to maximize your chances of success. To learn more on how to start a keto diet, please click the like button and hit the notification bell. Also see the description below to know more on the health benefits of the ketogenic diet and get your healthy guides from experts. Now let's continue. That this video is a framework. In other words, I'm not going to make you stick to a rigid system like a typical diet book. This video is a framework. You basically work with your existing diet and you switch gradually over to a ketogenic diet and you stay there. This way, you experience less psychological internal resistance to your lifestyle change. This is less a diet video as it is a lifestyle modification video. Make no mistake, if you want the pounds to go and you want them to remain gone, you have to change your lifestyle. Stop going on diet after diet. Instead, change your attitude about certain foods and change your lifestyle. It can be done. This video will teach you how to do it. The keto diet is a low or zero carbohydrate diet, but it differs from other low-carb diets, such as paleo, in that it deliberately manipulates the ratios of carbs, fats, and protein to switch fat into the body's primary source of fuel. Our bodies are used to using carbohydrates as fuel. Fats, which is a secondary source of fuel, are rarely tapped on. That means the extra fat is stored and keeps adding on the pounds. When you're on the keto diet, you eat loads of fat, 70% of your daily calories, a fair amount of protein, 20%, and very few carbs, 5% or less. By restricting carbs, you're changing the way your body burns energy. Instead of using glucose, your body switches to burning fat for fuel. This puts you into ketosis, when your liver converts fatty acids into molecules called ketones to use as energy. Burning fat for fuel carries enormous benefits. It accelerates weight loss, reduces inflammation, and boosts energy. The only ways to reduce fat in a normal diet are to consume less fat and work out a lot in order to increase energy expenditure over daily calories intake, which is why most people fail to lose weight on conventional diet. On the other hand, the ketogenic diet uses fat for fuel, which means it gets used instead of being stored. So, weight loss becomes easy. In addition to weight loss, the ketogenic diet is known as the healing diet. The lack of sugar intake has been proven to help and prevent many diseases such as heart disease, high blood pressure, cancers, epilepsy, and many symptoms of aging. The manipulation of carbs, fats, and protein is crucial in order to get into ketosis. It's a state when the body, deprived of the usual carbohydrates and sugar, is forced to use fat as its primary fuel. So the ratio of fats and protein are significantly higher than carbs in general. Of course, consuming less carbs also means lowering the amount of insulin in your body. Less insulin, less glucose and fat storage. That is why the keto diet has been so successful in helping people with diabetes. It adjusts the sugar level naturally. The ratio of carbs, fat, and protein can vary. Many people allow themselves up to 50 grams of carbohydrates a day and still lose weight. On a stricter regime, the carb intake can be between 15 and 20 grams daily. The less carbs, the quicker the weight loss, but the diet is very flexible. On the keto diet, you don't count calories. You count carbohydrates and adjust the intake of carbs versus fat and protein. A typical keto diet will get 70% of its calories from fat, 15 to 25% of calories from protein, and 5% of calories from carbohydrates. The only limitation on the diet is sugar, which you need to avoid. One of the most common problems I've seen people run into again and again with diets is they use a scorched earth policy. For example, if somebody is loading up on starch, they basically replace all the meat and all the eggs and fatty food they have been eating with just starch. They have this black and white, either or, all or nothing mindset. Now you may be thinking that this is a good thing. You may be thinking that this indicates commitment and a firm decision to make a change. That might be true. Why do people end up where they begin? The most common problem with diets is that people choose to replace instead of blending in new ingredients. For example, if you used to eat a lot of rice, mashed potatoes, white bread, pasta and other starchy staples, you probably would want to clean out your pantry once you switch over to a paleo or other high-fat low-carb diet. This is a common tendency with a lot of people adopting new diets. They simply just want to turn their back on their old eating patterns because they can see the benefits the new diet brings to the table. You can say the same for paleo and other diets out there. The problem is this is not sustainable. I was only able to stay on the keto diet when I started to displace food items. What does this mean? Instead of replacing high-carb items on my meal plans, I added high-fat items to my diet. Eventually, I started to lose my taste for high-carb foods. They got displaced by more and more high-fat items on my meal plans. Add, do not subtract. Displace. Do not replace. It's all in your head. Remember, the reason why you are displacing and not replacing and adding instead of cutting out large chunks of your meal plan is because you're trying to work with your psychology. When you start taking out dishes from your meal plan, your mind starts feeling left behind. Deep down inside, you start to feel that you're denying yourself. You feel like you are losing something. I'm sure I don't need to remind you that one of the most powerful human impulses is the fear of loss or getting left behind. Keep adding ketogenic meal items to your diet. Eventually, you will reach a point where your taste buds have switched over to a fat preference. You're no longer craving sweets. You no longer feel like you can't go a day without carbohydrates. That's when these carb items start dropping from your meal plan. However, it has to take place gradually. You can't force it. Focus more on ketogenic meals as you get used to eating keto-friendly meals. Your taste buds begin to change. At first, it may seem like it may be hard going for you. Eventually, it becomes routine to you and you start craving more ketogenic items and start forgetting about your old sweet tooth. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and you want to learn more about keto diet, please subscribe and hit the notification to be notified every time we release new videos. Thank you for watching.